Hello, European Confessions. So we are back with more messages here on European Confessions. So this is a translation of a confession that was sent to me. I am going to read for you the message. The message reads like this. Hello, Nashi. Please post for me as hidden identity. Nashi, I am a man who is aged 39. So I was working in the city and I would always take my leave when it is my off days. Then I'll go to my village until I resume work again. At that time, I was only earning a very small amount of money. So what I'll do is that as I was working each and every month and I'll buy some stuff, then I'll keep that stuff and also groceries so that when the time comes for me to go back to the village, I'll use private transport like trucks, not buses, because of my luggage. Then there was this other time, as always, I went to the hiking spot where I always got this cheap transport because I was used to using trucks. Then I saw that already there at the hiking spot, there were these guys, they were busy drinking their beer from their cooler box. But I think that these guys that I found there at the hiking spot, I think that those guys were into Satanism, or they were ritualists who would sell human body parts. The problem now that I have, my brother, is that these things that happened to me a while ago, this thing is still happening to me now. I am suffering a lot. Sometimes I do wake up at around 2 a.m. and then I open the door for some strange reason, trying to go outside. Nashi, I am suffering. Now I make sure that I set an alarm on my phone so that I will wake up at 1:30 a.m. I do this so that when those guys come at 1:30 a.m. trying to attack me spiritually, they will see that I'll be wide awake. But what happens to me is that if I do this for many consecutive days and if those guys keep coming back each and every night, then they'll see that I'll be wide awake. On one particular night, I'll fall asleep. I can even hear the alarm that it will go off at 1:30 a.m. I can even hear the sound of the alarm. Sometimes it will be 1:30 until 1:35 a.m. But there is nothing that I can do about it because I'll be sleeping in bed, but I'll be wide awake at the same time. Only that on those particular day, I'll be so paralyzed. Even when those guys approach my door, I can actually hear them, and those strange creatures that they always travel with, they'll be scratching on my door. Sometimes then I'll wake up and go to the door trying to open up for them. These strange creatures, sometimes at night I can wake up and I can hear that they will be calling out my name. Sometimes I do wake up. Then when I go to my door, there will be some movements. When I open my door, I'll see that those creatures will be there, and those men that I saw in the truck, they will be there as well. There was another time when I suddenly woke up. Then I heard that at the door there was some kind of a movement. Then I went there and I opened the door trying to see if there was anyone. When I opened the door, I saw that outside there was just total darkness. I mean, it was just dark. Then I started to vomit. I was vomiting some chunks of meat, and as I was vomiting like that, out of that darkness they came some creatures. Then they started to force me to eat up those chunks of meat that I had been vomiting. This happened from 2 a.m. in the morning. This happened for many hours. These creatures kept on forcing me to eat those chunks of meat that I had vomited earlier on. After they had done this for many hours, they suddenly threw me to my bed. Then those creatures just left and I woke up. Now, if I happen to stay with a woman, that woman will just run away from me for no particular reason at all. I don't know what they see in me. If I look in the room that I am staying, I have so many clothes that belong to different women. All of these women, they just ran away from me without giving giving me any reason at all, like my first wife. What happened to my first wife is that she left me after she had an encounter with this man. She told me that this man that she had an encounter with, they were holding knives and the other one was holding an axe. So what happened is that my wife tried to run away from this man, but she couldn't escape from this man because they caught her. As they were busy dragging my wife into the bushes, maybe they wanted to kill her, I don't know, but she told me that this man just ran away when they saw that the time that they were dragging my wife into the bushes, there were other boys who had seen everything that had happened. These boys were busy herding their cattle. Then those men just ran away. Soon after that, the whole villagers were even afraid to send their children to school because the news had spread around the village that there were people who had tried to murder my wife. Soon after that, for no particular reason at all, my wife just left me. What happened is that she just said that she wants to go to the shops, but she took all of our children. Then she never returned. So when I called her asking her where she was, then she told me that after all that happened to me, that people tried to attack me and tried to murder me, then you at night, you were talking to these murderers saying that please don't kill my wife as for now, just take my child, and if I have returned back to the city, then you can come back and you will kill my wife and harvest her body parts. When my wife told me this story that at night I was speaking with these people that she couldn't see, and I was discussing how they were supposed to murder my wife and to murder our children, then harvest their body parts, I thought that, you know what, I think my wife is another boyfriend and she just wants to find a way of divorcing me. But my brother, if I tell you that this is still going on even today, whenever these people, they visit me at night, I'll speak with them as if I am talking with a real person. The people that I have slept with in the same room say that sometimes at night I do strange things, like the person that I'll be with in the same room, sleeping in the same room together, sometimes they can just wake up at night, then they'll find out that I'll be talking to these people that only I can see, and even if they try to call out my name asking me what am I doing, I won't respond to them. I'll keep on talking with these people that no one else, only me, can see. People tell me that whenever this nightmare happens to me, I'll be talking with these people that no one can see, and I'll be saying things like kill this one first, murder this one first, and I'll be even mentioning the names of the people that I want to be murdered. And now it is happening in reality. There was another time that I was staying with my little brother. Then all of a sudden, my brother in the morning told me that there are things, brother, that you do, scary things that you do, but I just wish that you can do your things silently because you keep on mentioning the name of this old man. Don't you know that you will be arrested if ever this old man that you keep on calling out his name at night and people hear you calling out his name, that he must be murdered? But what surprised me is that this old man that I kept on shouting his name at night, saying that he should be murdered and his body parts must be harvested. In those nightmares, my little brother told me that I kept on saying that these people, after they finished murdering this old man, they should remove his tongue. And that is exactly what happened, because this old man was found murdered, and those people who had murdered this old man then placed that old man's dead body along the railway tracks, thinking that when the train will pass by, it will destroy that old man's dead body and also destroy the evidence. But that is not what happened. If I tell you, my brother, that I don't know how many countries that I have been to, thinking that if I move to this country, I will find peace. but I cannot find peace because everywhere that I go, these satanic men keep on attacking me spiritually. Like I told you, when I met these guys at the hiking spot, those guys, they were busy drinking their beer and they had a big red cooler box, and they told me that they had a lot of beers in that cooler box. They kept on adding some ice packs in that cooler box, and they were so friendly, like extra friendly. I don't know what was happening on that day because it wasn't just easy for us to get transport. And these guys, the whole day, they were busy eating a lot of meat, and it was biltong. They ate this meat throughout the day. After we finally got the transport, when we were in that truck, I then accepted the meat that they had offered me. But the strange thing is that that same biltong that I ate on that day when I met those guys, that is the same meat that I was vomiting that night when those strange creatures just came out of nowhere and started to force me to eat up everything that I had vomited. While we were traveling, mistakenly I opened those guys' red cooler box and I saw that there was a human head. I remember that human head, it once belonged to a woman and it was surrounded by those ice packs. From that time when I ate that biltong, my brother Nashi, I don't even know how we traveled until when I arrived at my destination. I was only shocked when I saw that already I was at my house and I was walking with my wife and my kids. My brother Nashi, I have tried everything. I have tried to pray, but the situation is still the same. The only thing that is keeping me alive right now is that each and every night before I go to bed, I make sure that the alarm on my phone is set to 1:30 a.m. so that when those satanic guys and those creatures, when they come to attack me spiritually, they'll see that I'll be wide awake. Dear listeners, right there was a message that I received as a WhatsApp voice note. Then it had to be translated. I'll be back with more messages.